You posted a quote from Lee Haney, stimulate, not annihilate.
Yep.
What does that mean to you?
To me, it means that the objective behind a training session is to trigger a stimulus. It's to trigger the body to adapt. That doesn't mean you have to grind it into the ground. The more you damage yourself, the more you have to repair from. The more stress you cause yourself, the more you have to recover from. The objective is to get enough of a stimulus to force adaptation, and not so much that you put your body behind on recovery. If you can get the same effect or similar effect through less stressful work, through not beating yourself up, if you can walk at the end of your session and get the same stimulus, that is probably a better session than the one that leaves you crippled. On lifting, you don't need to lift to failure. You don't always need to squat until your nose bleeds. You don't need to run every interval at threshold until you puke. There's huge value to sub-threshold work. Long runs over 2 hours, not really needed. Physiologically, there's no additional stimulus at that distance. You can do it, but it's useless. Training to failure, doing more sets than you really need to trigger an adaptation, it's not necessary. What that means to me is that you don't actually have to suffer to improve. Sure, discomfort, 100%. Training is never comfortable. Pushing yourself to the point that triggers a stimulus means you're pushing your body outside of its equilibrium. That's always going to be a little uncomfortable, but suffering is not needed. It applies to runners who love just hitting every single session at threshold and going for hard runs and all that. And you go, you don't need to do that. Or people training for like marathons, you're like, I've got to get in my 25-mile run this weekend. It's going, honestly, much after 15 miles, unless you just want the experience of being on your feet for a long period of time, that 22-mile training session is not causing you any adaptations that a 15-mile training session isn't, unless you're very, very, very elite. For the most part, it's this idea that, hey, look, sometimes less is never more, but less is better. That's okay.
That's a great quote. Less is never more, but it can be better.